Nice and Hajime are at the bank, unaware that a robbery is in progress. The police arrive with Art, the superintendent of the Yokohama Police Department and Gasky an officer, but before they know it, the robbery is solved. Nice and Hajime head back to their Hamatora Private Eye Investigation Office, which is actually just a table rented out by Master in his bar. Kaneko, the receptionist and contract negotiator, has two jobs. First is to capture the individuals responsible for the abduction of local college students, and then, second is to protect the family safe, which belongs to Toyosaki, who recently died. There is somebody plotting to steal the safe's content too. Murasaki, part of the investigation office, go for the protecting the safe job since it pays a lot. And then Nice got the job to investigate the abduction. They both go their separate ways, while Birthday and Ratio is also part of the investigation office, have their own job of bodyguard a girl named Asusa. Murasaki is at the Toyosaki estate, and his son explains the secretive but strict man his father was. They can't force open the safe since doing it would trigger a safety mechanism that would destroy the content. Nice bribe Mal for additional information by giving him 30 yen. Mal get angry because he wants thousands, and police officer Art came to offers to pay for it. Art and Nice had lunch together, and Art gave Nice some information that he hopes he may use. Nice puts the puzzle pieces together and realizes something. He calls Birthday to tell him that Asusa is an intern, and that she is the girl who was in the earlier bank robbery. Suddenly Birthday and Ratio are being attacked by a minimum holder. Then throw a rock in Asusa's house and forces some number out of Asusa. But when Birthday tries to fight with his electric power, the minimum holder runs away. Asusa is taken back to the office and informed that Toyosaki is sleeping with her and that she doesn't understand that number, and that she hears him speaking in her sleep. Nice then realizes all the cases are not separated but related. Toyosaki's son is angry when he finds out that his father is a womanizer and has been having affairs with female college students. His old maid was cool enough to calm him down. Then the minimum holder throws a boulder and Murasaki saved them. The minimum holder confronts Murasaki and throws a statue his way, but Murasaki smashes it with his hands. Meanwhile, Birthday and Ratio take out the other small fries hiding nearby. The minimum holder had a truck in his hand, and when Nice arrived on the scene, Nice used his speed of sound power to defeat her. When Murasaki opens the safe, he finds lots of adult magazines. Art and Gasky are on the scene to capture the minimum holders. Art believes it's time to inform them that minimum holders are being killed by a serial killer. Birthday wanted to perform some magic tricks for several girls, but the building behind him blew up, and he was arrested. Theo and Ray arrive at Hamatora and ask for help finding their missing art teacher, Kitazawa. Nice pretended to be a transfer student, while Murasaki pretended to be a teacher in order to get more information. Murasaki discovers some site that everyone uses to post their troubles that they don't want to say in public. Now Nice and Murasaki know that Theo is bullied. Nice confront Theo and ask about the bullying. He couldn't do anything or else they will harm Ray too. It was Kitazawa who took notice and helped him out. But Nice finds it strange because it appears as though he is delaying solving the issue. Murasaki and Nice get a call from Art. At the crime scene, Kitazawa is dead. Art proceeds to show them a classified case whereby a serial killer is targeting minimum holders. Kitazawa is also graduated from the same faculty's academy like them. All victims have in common is that their brain is removed. At Kitazawa's funeral, Theo is looking at Ray while crying. Nice has got Kitazawa's smartphone at the crime scene and wants to look into him a bit more. Nice feels Theo can't move on till he learns the truth. He will finish the job he takes. Nice gets the photos of the bullies from Mao that was posted on the internet. He also goes to check out Kitazawa's home PC. Art made it an exception to allow him to provide the investigation answer. Nice now meets Theo and Ray at Hamatora. The images have a strange look. They are always 5-person in the picture, but the ringleader was not in the pictures. Who is the photographer? The ringleader must be that person. He found that the IP address used to post the images and the ringleader's home PC are identical. The leader is Kitazawa. Nice show a webpage of Kitazawa where he posted a site that suggests food tastes better at the misfortune of others. Here, you can read his in-depth comments about the bullying. Kitazawa had the ability to turn words into pictures. His idea of doing this is to increase his reputation. Theo got so sick hearing this that he started vomiting. Birthday, who is released from police custody, somehow managed to get photos of the serial bombing sites. They notice they are the same place where Theo's bullying occurs. Only one place left unbombed, the school. At that night, Theo and Ray are in school to get something when they see a bomb. Then Kojima, one of the bullies, show on the rooftop. Admits the bombings are his doing because thanks to his expulsion. Nice arrives on the scene and hear all the conversation. Kojima now uses his ability to speed up the timed bomb. Nice grabs the bomb and begins to run. Murasaki took the bomb from Nice and threw it up high and it exploded. Now Nice and Murasaki approaching Kojima on the rooftop, but Kojima is wearing bombs. So Murasaki uses his ability to go to the rooftop to surprise him and punch him in the face to finish the job. Now Theo and Ray are at Kitazawa's coffin and Nice give Theo a baseball bat. Theo thanks Kitazawa for everything before using the bat to smash Kitazawa's coffin. Now he can move on. Meanwhile, Art learns that the people who were recently detained aren't naturally minimum holders. They do not possess the capacity at birth, as should be the case for all minimum holders. It appears that artificial powers can be planted, but doing so requires a minimum holder's brain. Shoko Ito of the Association for Health, Protection and Equality of Youths contracts Hamatora to search for a scandal within Facultas Academy. She supports equality and believes that individuals in positions of power are receiving special treatment as a result of the minimum holders. So if they uncover some big scandal, they can use it and crush the academy who develops those minimum holders from all over Japan. Shoko pays in advance and they will get 3 times more when they're done. Nice rejects, but since his tab is running up, Kaneko takes the job. Shoko's aide wonders if she can trust them since they too were from Facultas Academy. Shoko has checked them out and can rely on Murasaki since he graduated with the second highest score in the Facultas Academy. The first is a mystery and kept classified. Murasaki is on the job alone since Nice is bumming around. Art interrogates Moral at his place. Moral is a professor at Facultas Academy, and he admits of purchasing large amount of Nemqua drug from Association for Health, Protection and Equality of Youths. Seems all victims have that drug in their nervous system. Moral also reveals he is doing research on non-innate minimum holders, although it is incomplete. Moral also talks about equality, that the weak can never kill and weak men without power cannot cross the line. That is why they envy murderers who stepped out of the line and accomplished what the weak couldn't. Art doesn't want to hear any more of this, but Moral continues that the world will be reborn if the weak is empowered. Art wants to leave, but Moral speaks of Art's past in Facultas Academy. Although he didn't have any talent or ability, he graduated as a distinguished member by demonstrating exceptional intelligence and heroic efforts. He mocks him that he must be jealous, thinking why he doesn't have an ability like others. Art assures he will come back next time with an arrest warrant. While Shoko is giving her usual speech, suddenly the Incredible Hulk emerges from the sewers and goes on a rampage. Shoko contacts Murasaki to protect them. Then Incredible Hulk confronted by Murasaki, who then unexpectedly throw a traffic sign, which Murasaki caught in her hand and he used it to attack. Nice is just sitting there, nothing how carefree the Hulk is. Then the Hulk go to Shoko. He stammered and said, "Mom." Shoko realized it's her missing son Takahiro. Then he runs back down to the sewer when Art and his police team arrive. Moral then calls Art about a certain junior high school kid coming to see him a few days ago, complaining he lacked any ability and thus wasn't respected. He felt sorry and would have wanted to save him. The video of Takahiro causing havoc has already gone viral online. Shoko is just in distress, explaining how she shielded him from this world and raised him with care. However, Nice sees it as she views her son as weak and called him a loser. The police track down Takahiro and it seems he is traveling in sewers due to being sensitive to light. Then he start to run to the surface and got cornered by Art and the police, but he is too strong. Then Nice confronts Takahiro. He believes that the only reason he appeared in public was to brag about his strength and how he surpassed minimum holders. Nice puts on his headphones and uses his speed to beat Takahiro. Moral burns down his place to destroy the evidence before the police could arrest him. He notes Nice is the top graduate in Facultas Academy whose existence is classified. The police are investigating Moral's burnt-down mansion. All evidence are also burnt. 3 and Honey are in a room together as 3 searches for the assassin. Honey used her mighty script ability to look 10 minutes into the future in order to locate the assassin's whereabouts. Honey pinpointed the assassin's location, and they are now moving to stop him. 3 get the gun and strikes the assassin in the face while asking as to how they know his location. While Hamatora helps film a commercial as a publicity stunt to cover up Takahiro's rampage. Their video is uploaded the net and is gaining popularity, but not as popular as Yuuki Katsuragi. So popular that he already has his own fan site. Someone calls Kaneko and receives a job to be actors at a nursing home. Meanwhile, Honey and 3 are at the airport. Her luggage is switched with totem poles. They have to get it back since Mighty is in it. While 3 is reporting it at the lost and found section, Honey is kidnapped by men in black. 3 goes after them, but the car he is hitching is driven by a grandma. 3 jumps onto the kidnapper's car and uses his ability to destroy the top of the car and save Honey. They find lots of gun parts. Meanwhile, Art and Gasky are in another case whereby minors are attempting to rob stores with a real gun. Nice gets his usual info from Mao. Nice meets Art and want to talk about the case. Nice figure it out. All the victims had one thing and they see all Yuuki Katsuragi video. There is a hidden message in the video using a certain frequency that only minors can hear. Art has information of the uploader and that he is nearby. Nice and Art are going to visit the uploader. Speaking of which, Yuuki Katsuragi is actually an ugly person but his power makes him look handsome. Moral is with him and he is upset about his video being used for criminal acts. Moral disagrees he has done anything wrong and gave him power to grant his wish. He is going to report to the police but Moral killed him. Honey and 3 enter a room where his Mighty in it. Though she finds her Mighty, Honey also discovers that they are smuggling guns. The totem poles are filled with the gun parts. Since she is already involved in this case, she contacts Art and he wants her to scan if there is something going to happen at Yokohama. Nice has a hunch where it is going to happen. Soon all the police apprehend the minors with guns at the amusement park before anything happens. Art wonders how Nice knew. At Yuuki Katsuraga's place, a doll is seen placed on his head. Nice thinks that this attack was probably simply a game. And it was. A large display would make it more entertaining. Hajime wins the grand prize to the hot spring. In Hamatora, Birthday starts to flirt with Honey. She becomes angry and tells 3 to rip out his guts. But just in time, Ratio received a call and then called Birthday because there was a job. Meanwhile, Nice and Murasaki are undertaking a job from a rich female to find the whereabouts of one of her boyfriends, Arata Hasuda, who is a masseur at the hot spring. They agree to the job because it is at the same hot spring where the Hamatora girls are. Now at the hot spring Koniko, Hajime and Honey see Ray at the counter, and Theo is surprised why Nice and Murasaki is there. Suddenly the hot spring is being taken hostage. Since they're not interested in women because they're gays, they let them go. But our girls felt insulted. Especially Hajime, who is bent on getting her deluxe dinner. Due to the job, Birthday and Ratio meet with Murasaki, Nice and 3 in the hot spring. The guys encounter Arata, who starts doing sit-ups. His sweat will mix with the steam and cause people to fall for him. Birthday doesn't believe and goes near him. Arata's ability starts to take effect on Birthday, and he tries to jump into Arata, but Ratio stops him, and they start to run because the steam smoke begins to spread. When they take refuge, Ratio and Birthday said that they lost their target. They are supposed to be bodyguards of Crown Prince of Abachahat. The prince is hiding in the toilet but Arata finds him. The girls are crawling through the ventilation and drop down in the locker room. They see in Arata's locker lots of pictures of a famous male idol, Seiji Hijirikawa. But due to his scandal of sleeping with lots of women, they forced him to retire. Arata starts to hypnotize the prince with her power. Now the girls confront Arata. Honey realized this is a part of revenge, that's why he pretend to be a boyfriend of that rich girl so he can steal all her money. The plan is to hypnotize the prince with his ability to have Japan reinstate Seiji as an idol again. Arata's ability doesn't work on women, so Arata floods the area with some slippery liquid. Then his underlings slide like hell to give him time to escape. When he escapes to the rooftop, the police already surrounded the area. Arata reveals he is the mastermind to save his fellow underlings and that they were just obeying his orders. He wants to jump down but Hajime catches him. Actually, he got the ticket to the deluxe dinner. But Nice is confused because Arata isn't a facultas graduate and shouldn't have powers. Somebody is pulling the strings. Meanwhile, Gasky asks the researcher if he found anything. Then according to researcher and other investigations that non-innate minimum holders' brains cannot be collected for the minimum factor, because his brain was not extracted, according to the most recent case of Yuuki Katsuragi. Suddenly Gasky stabs the researcher and kills it. A famous illustrator, Chiyu, gets a big collaboration with a Hollywood director. In the dressing room, she gets kidnapped. So her manager approaches Birthday and Ratio for help instead of the police. Meanwhile, at the crime scene, Honey wonders why Art won't tell Nice about Moral. Since Honey is persistent, so Gasky tells him to get some time off. Art visits the grave of her brother and Nice is also there. Signs of other Hamatora members were there too as they left their gifts. But they don't know this Cosmos flower is from whom. Another illustrator, Misty, is having a book signing event when Birthday and Ratio haul her up. Birthday suspect Misty for Chiyu's kidnapping since she would have been the candidate for the collaboration if Chiyu wasn't around. Misty disagrees since her works sell 5 times more than her and they are friends. Birthday seems to be agitated. He won't let her leave, claiming that their friend is being abducted. Back at Hamatora, everyone is surprised that Tora, the top illustrator, is at their office to seek their help. Somebody knocks Birthday out and kidnaps him. Ratio gets a call from the kidnapper to come to a certain place and bring Misty too. But Ratio knows where the kidnapper is, or rather, was. The place, Chiyu's manager's office, because of that parakeet's voice he heard in the background. They find Misty's works in his place. Ratio and Honey discover that Misty is the intended target. Additionally, the kidnapper knew where Ratio was going to take Misty because if Ratio had done so, Ratio would have been held responsible for the kidnapping. When that happens, the collaboration will fail, and Misty will end up with it, because it would appear that Chiyu kidnapped her companion. The suspect wants to capture her once her market worth grows, and it appears that Hamatora was recruited to abduct Misty rather than save Chiyu. Meanwhile, Birthday wakes up and sees Chiyu tied up alongside him. Birthday makes his way to the electric box and trips the wire so that the huge current can reveal their location. Ratio and Misty notice it and turn over the car. Once Ratio and Misty arrive, they see the true kidnapper, who is Chiyu's manager. The manager wants Misty for the collaboration instead of Chiyu because her work sells more. The manager hardens his body to fight. He fights Ratio with a hand-to-hand combat, but Ratio's power can't stop her, and then Birthday uses his ability electricity, but it feels nothing. Neither Birthday nor Ratio's power can stop him, but with Chiyu tips them to combine their power. Birthday uses his electricity on Ratio so he can power up. Ratio punched the manager to knock him up, but he is still standing. Then he starts to run to the speedboat, and he escapes. But Murasaki and Nice is at the scene. Murasaki uses his ability to starts winding with a chain. Then Nice uses his power to grab the chain so he can catch up to the boat and knocks out the manager. Speaking with Gr0up, he explains his manager overheard his plan. Since they are good friends, they want to resolve this internally and not involve the police. Gr0up will take it from here. Then Nice go to meet Art, asking about the serial killer. And Moral enters a high-security lab by pretending to be a researcher. All the non-innate minimum holders' statement seems to have the same thing. They surfed the internet and found some website that promised them to get a power. Nice explains his investigation how he pinpointed Moral, but mostly it was a guess and wanted to see Art reaction. Art gets a call that the forbidden specimen in a hidden facility is stolen. Art, Gasky, Honey and Murd3r are in a discussion of how the culprit snuck in. Later, Gasky at the smoking area talks to Honey about Art. Although all of them entered facultas at different points, Nice, Ratio, and Birthday drop out in facultas academy, and the only ones who actually graduated were Honey and Art. The latter because of his exceptional hard work despite no minimum materialized. He holds the record as the first, last, and only graduate. Suddenly, Murd3r calls Art and gets a judo lesson with Murd3r, who was his teacher at facultas academy. Murd3r wants him to have faith in himself. After the workout, Art feels better and goes back to the basics of investigating. At Moral's raised mansion, he sees the black cosmos and some of them are recently cut. Then Art starts to run to the graveyard and sees Moral there. He didn't waste time to point his gun at him and accuse him as the culprit. But just as Moral told him, it was all for equality. Art doesn't believe his crap because he stole some forbidden specimen and wanted power for himself. Moral says he is greatly mistaken. He desired that too, but was for equality. He wants to desperately save someone from solitude. To save Nice, he needs power. Because Nice is so powerful, he is unrivaled. So not only the weak is unequal but the strong too. Moral's reasoning is that to achieve that, he needs to be Nice's equal. Art won't allow that because he will protect Nice as his friend. Then Moral starts to demonstrate his shape-shifting ability, and Art starts to shots Moral, but with his great speed he beats up Art. Moral views what Art said as an insult because without a minimum ability, he cannot be his equal or his friend. Moral suggests if he desires, he can make him a minimum holder. But Art rejects Moral and he stabs him. Art crawls to grab an incoming call from Nice, but Moral whispers something into his ear and starts shooting Art. Moral takes the form of Art to answer Nice's phone call and starts acting like him. Moral was leaving. Then he leaves it to his assistant, Momoka, to clean up Art's body. After that, Moral and Momoka is getting ready to do an operation on several people and turn his ideal into reality. Murd3r is at an orphanage he runs. Next day, Art calls Honey and Murd3r to tell them they have been assigned to another case for their own safety. Although Honey is not happy, but Murd3r respects his decision since it was him who called them back to Japan. Momoka then calls Moral to tell him Nice is at her flower shop. Nice seems to be hinting that Momoka is some sort of super hacker and leaves without doing anything. Nice explains to Murasaki that Moral needed to find people to achieve his goal, and to do that, he needs an internet provider or a super hacker. That person is someone likely close to Moral. Moral suggests Momoka to refrain coming to his lab for the time being and minimize contact. Though, Moral thinks wearing Art's face won't be enough to fool Nice, despite it was convenient enough to stop the police investigation. When Nice and Murasaki returns to office, Kaneko is trying to chase out a sleazy reporter. Then the reporter wants to give a job and he give advance payment to investigate Murd3r, who is revealed to be a former mercenary. Now reporters are swarming outside the orphanage trying to get answers. Nice goes to meet Mao for information and confirms that all the children in the orphanage are orphans of war, and he took them in. Birthday and Ratio disguise themselves as fruit delivery men in order to deliver fruits to the orphanage, and Honey is hidden inside the delivery box, surprising 3. Honey learns from 3 he is bringing up these kids as a form of self-punishment for the people he killed, as he believes revenge is not a sin. Honey is angry, so she decides to join him to make the children learn revenge is not good. That night, several mercenaries sneak into the orphanage, but Nice and Murasaki knocks them out and see Honey and 3. Suddenly, Honey is being attacked by a minimum holder, Helen Lee Masayoshi, who was a guest on the talk show. He became a mercenary just to be like 3, but when 3 took in children and run an orphanage, his ideal image of him shattered. He wants to bring 3's reputation back. So Helen Lee exaggerated the facts in the news to make him sound vicious, and the plan is to frame him for raising these children to kill them himself. 3 angrily take on Helen Lee, while Murasaki and Honey protect the children. Helen Lee attack Nice, then Nice uses power and punch him. 3 grabs him in the neck, and Helen Lee loves the anger in his eyes. But Helen Lee has plan B. He sets his comrades' vests on fire, and this spreads throughout the orphanage. 3 is angry, but memories of how he first encountered young Honey flood his head. Then 3 throws Helen Lee, and uses power to save Honey, Murasaki, and the children. 3 bursts out of the rooftop, and all the reporters start snapping away. Meanwhile, Moral is starting to move, and he unleashes his army of newly operated people with powers. Moral spreads his followers through Yokohama City and starts murdering people. Nice, Murasaki, and Honey walking with 3, with a chain on his neck like a pet. So others will relax if they see him like this. But there is a commotion not because of this. It's Takahiro. He is here to apologize for the trouble he has caused. Takahiro managed to escape as Moral's men freed all the minimum holder prisoners, and he's seeking Hamatora's help to return to normal. However, Nice rejects the job. Honey goes around looking for a place to rent but gets rejected since the real estate agencies have this policy of not dealing with minimum holders. Shaoko ramps up her campaign against minimum holders. The internet forums are rife with postings against minimum holders. But after that posting, each get a link that reveals their exact location. Shortly, they get attacked by Moral followers. Yokohama is now under riot. Shaoko takes away 3's orphanage kids despite their plea to stay with him. Birthday and Ratio is hurried to help Chiyu, but it's too late as she gets beaten up badly. Nice goes to see Art in office. He notices something strange. Art never drinks black coffee, and there is a black cosmos on his office. Nice goes to the rooftop, but it is Moral who is waiting for him. Nice brings Moral back to the office. Kaneko thinks he is such a nice guy till she learns he is the one responsible for everything. Nice explains how he used Honey's mighty to find him and how looking for Moral would lead to his discovery because he wasn't wearing Art's face. Moral demonstrates his shape-shifting minimum and his plans of making everyone into a minimum holder for equality. The riots aren't totally his fault because he merely answered their call and people are just expressing their newfound powers. Moral also mentions his goal to save Nice and to be his equal. But Nice laughs it off that he didn't ask for that. He also doesn't like his attitude of going around deciding who is strong or weak. Before Moral leaves, he tells them a side show is going to happen at the Civic Center. Nice is forced to let Moral go because he has a sharp wire around Kaneko's neck. One wrong move and her head will fly. Meanwhile, Murasaki and Hajime is beating up other minimum holders who are misusing their power. Takahiro sees this and laments he is still weak after transforming. He really wants to be strong. Shaoko at the Civic Center is surrounded by minimum holders who wants her to be killed. Takahiro goes to the Civic Center, but he is beaten up by the minimum holder, but Murasaki and Hajime help her. Now the minimum holder goes to Shaoko, but Takahiro protects him. Takahiro screams and transforms into a hideous monster and Nice came to the scene. Now Takahiro is beating the opponents one by one. When it took a while, he also weakened, and the opponent hit him with a mallet, but Nice knocked him down. Shaoko hugs Takahiro and feels proud of him. Moral feels so sad after seeing this tragic scene, so he is going to save Takahiro from this humiliation. Moral detonates a bomb inside Takahiro. Hajime, Shaoko, Nice and Murasaki is shocked. Now Nice is very angry with Moral. There is a commercial on TV telling those who want to seek minimum powers go to Pacific Yokohama. People in droves make their way there, ignoring police orders, all because they want the power and claiming self-protection. Momoka spread the robot all over the city and it started shooting people. Honey used her ability Mighty to find out all the robots' locations, and Birthday helps him to destroy the robot with his power. Momoka, who is monitoring all these events from her home, is arrested by Gasky and taken in for interrogation. Nice and Murasaki go to the ship where Moral is. Nice go alone to face Moral. Now Nice is starting to fight Moral with his ability, but Moral can move faster than his speed of sound and beat him up. Nice explains that this minimum power of his isn't about speed. It's teleportation. Moral admits this forbidden minimum he got makes him anywhere within a 10-meter radius. The chaos in Yokohama is being transmitted to all the social sites throughout Japan. Moral reminds Nice of a minimum holder he defeated last year, Hibiki. His ultrasonic waves can destroy people's brain within a 100-meter radius. Now, this ship is heading closer to a tower, and this will trigger a mechanism to stab Hibiki, whom is captured and tied up. His scream will be transmitted, and everyone who hears it will have their brains pop out or at least permanent loss of hearing. Moral is happy that he has already rattled him with deaths of certain people like Takahiro. Nice is angry when he hears Takahiro's name and start to fight, but Moral continues to overpower Nice and beat him up. Murasaki goes to help Nice, but Moral uses his speed to beat up Murasaki. Nice goes to Murasaki's aid, in which the latter says he isn't acting like himself. It is not like him to avenge others. Nice gets back up and starts snapping his fingers to a certain rhythm. Theo and Ray, who are watching the chaos on news, feel they want to support Nice and send him a mail. However, Nice throws his handphone into the ocean and curses the people who are trying to disrupt his concentration. Nice then explains he doesn't care about all those innocent people Moral is going to kill, because he was never a hero of justice, minimum for himself, and doesn't have a grand purpose like him. Now Nice is starting to fight Moral. Nice is able to avoid being touched by Moral. Although he misses at first, gradually he is able to tap into his rhythm and punch Moral in the face and take him down. Moral is impressed, but he starts coughing blood. A sudden shock entry by Art. He explains that Moral is paying the price for having two minimums, and he knows it well that the human body cannot withstand it. Art pulls out his gun and shoots Moral. Nice feels he shouldn't have done that, for he was already incapable to fight. Art points his gun at Nice's head and apologizes for being late. Bang! This is only season 1 of the anime. Thank you for watching. If you enjoy this video, please don't forget to subscribe.